Okay, everybody, welcome to day 2 class, Introduction to Google Apps. So this is day 2 of 4, and this is January 13th, 2015. How's the weather here in Las Vegas?
Snowing out.
Snowing out? No, it's not snowing. Windy? Okay. Chilly? But it's clear, right? How's the weather in California?
They muted.
How's the weather in California, Dennis? Unmute. Okay, well, while they're figuring that out, we'll move forward. So, has everybody had a chance to see what is new in preparation for the class, the 10 o'clock class? What's new? Anybody? Huh?
The document.
Document, right.
The mind map of the
Mind map?
applications. Or whatever. Same thing.
No,
It's a map.
at all.
I know it's not.
Okay, so now everybody should have this, but make a copy of it for yourself. Start off by making a copy, because what we're not doing is we're not going to be collaborating on this document. Okay, so go in there, and how do we make a copy?
File.
Go to File.
Go down and make select.
File, make a copy, right. Then that copy is going to go where?
To your drive.
Into your drive. So now it's yours, and you can edit it the way you want. So Dennis, did you get were you able to open the copy? Sort of looks like they're frozen there in California. If somebody could raise their hand in front of the camera that I can know you can hear me. Hello? Okay, so then you now have your own copy. So you've got so you have this document, file, make a copy. You don't. You got people in here highlighting.
The Google Plus page.
Simple stuff in Google. All you need to do is open it, click on the link, go to File, make a copy. That's all you have to do.
I know. Where's the link address again?
It says official site.
Google Plus.
Start at your Google Plus page. Right here in this page, it says official site.
Call this right decision, writing the story on your restaurant beer.
So these events don't make it as easy to look at the document. Okay, Dennis, it sounds like you're back.
Yeah, we're back. Yeah, it froze for a second.
Were you able to get the document? Were you, Dennis, able to get the document?
No, I wasn't. It wanted to request permission. I was not able to get the document.
Okay, so I think that Joe Fisher could get the document. And if he can share it with you, then you can share it with everybody else there.
Okay. Were you able to get the doc?
So the idea is you click on the thing that says what? How do you get to the document? Right, you click on official site. And that document is stored in a folder on Drive that all of the students in Las Vegas have access to. So maybe Joe can help build a version of this in California if you don't have one. A version of that drive that's shared with everybody. So we will just gingerly move everybody or help everybody in California get to the same level of Google Office that we have here in Las Vegas. And we spend as much time on Google Office as you do on Microsoft Office, but I think there's an easy way to help get people there. Okay, so all we want to do is get the document. So instead of me posting notes in the description or the discussion of today's event, what I'm going to do is just have the link to a document, and what you can do, what all the students can do, is then add to the document every day. Okay, so that what you have in your drive is the master set of notes for all of our Google Apps class. And then you can edit them to suit your needs, so when you get out there and you're at work in an employer and something comes up that has to do, like let's say with Gmail, and you say, oh, I remember we did that at Larson, I remember we did that in school, but I don't remember what it is. Boom, all you have to do is open up your document, which is your customized lesson plan on how to use these Google Apps. And so also by now using the document every day, it develops those habits that we need to have to be proficient and competent at Google Docs. So for the first couple days, it's going to be confusing. And what we need to do in California is to have a shared drive that all the students have access to, and then add me to that drive. So what I can do is post things not just to the common drive in Las Vegas, but to the common drive in California. Okay? That makes sense? He said no. Okay, what part didn't make sense? Okay, does it make sense here? Who does not have their document? Okay, well, you guys aren't on the computer. Maybe tomorrow, Phyllis, what we can do is have it on that TV, not have the sound. My voice can probably carry. And so everybody could be doing it there, watching that TV, and you working on their computers, because hands-on is the best way to learn Google Docs. Okay, so everybody has their document, right? Okay, good. And what have you named the document? Copy of? Okay, so you should change the name to be your name or my copy. And ideally what you'll do is you'll create a folder in your drive that says Google Apps class. And then you'll have 8 documents in there, one for each app. So if you want to see the Google Voice class notes, you go to your drive, your subfolder called Google Apps, and then you click on the folder that says, or the file that says Google Voice, and then you'll have your notes there. So it's very easy to get to, and it's something that you can have for the rest of your life. So the idea is to get everybody to start customizing it and using it. So now what we're going to do is work on what the apps are. We started talking about them yesterday. We listed them yesterday. Let's start with calendar. Chrome, Drive,
Maps,
YouTube.
okay.
Google Plus,
Okay.
Google Voice, Gmail.
And Gmail. Okay. Now so in your composition book, this would be something that you should draw. And if we were doing mind maps, this would be a mind map that you would have. So calendar. calendar and drive. So draw a line. And let's talk about how does calendar and drive interact. What can we do between calendar and drive?
You can create an event on your calendar.
Okay, we have an event. That's what calendars do. How do we bring the drive into that? Attach a file. Okay. What about calendar and maps?
You do the same thing.
Okay. So on maps, one of the fields that needs to be filled in on an event is location, right? Now, if you have a smartphone and you have your calendar and you have an event, like I have an 11:30 event, or Keith is making calls and setting up events for this afternoon, it shows me the location. What I can do is click on the address of the location, and what comes up? Do you think on my smartphone?
The location's on your map. You can the address.
It gives me driving instructions. It automatically pops up how to get there and how long it's going to take me to do that. Okay. What about Gmail? How does Gmail interact with calendar?
You have all your associates and
So I have an event on my calendar. How does Gmail?
Notification.
Okay, so it would be an invitation is what it's called, right?
oh, okay, I see what you're saying.
So if I get an email, now this is looking at it from here down, if I receive an email and the person says, hey, let's meet, what do most people do? What do those people out there do when you get an email that says, hey, let's meet next Tuesday?
They just say okay. And
They
then
click reply and say, okay. Did that go on my calendar?
No.
No. So if I'm trying to remember when am I meeting and where am I meeting, what happens? What do I have to do?
Research.
I have to find that email that I said okay to. What is the proper way? What is the Google Apps design way to handle that? You get an email that says, let's meet for lunch next Tuesday.
You have an event and
I'm looking at my email. I've opened up this Gmail. It says, let's have lunch next Tuesday.
Go
But
ahead and
add
put
that to your phone.
add it back to your calendar.
No.
Reply to.
Who remembers? We've gone through this every time we go through Gmail.
Isn't there a button that you just press that just says that not accept that you're going to the meeting?
Not in your Gmail.
circles.
No, we're in Gmail. Okay, I'm in Gmail. I'm looking at my Gmail. I just opened a Gmail that says, let's meet for lunch next Tuesday.
Doesn't it create an event?
I'm looking at a Gmail. I opened I got an email alert. I opened it. The guy says, let's have lunch next Tuesday. I don't want to hit reply and say, okay. I want to add it to my calendar. I'm in Gmail, I'm not in my calendar. I create an event in calendar. Okay. So does anybody in California know? So this is the kind of things that you put in your notes. No.
Okay.
We have one student that says you click more.
Correct. There's a button. When you have an email open, there's a button at the top of your page, your Gmail page, that says more. You click that, and one of the choices says what, Dennis?
Calendar.
It says create event. Okay? So Phyllis was right that you create an event, but she didn't describe how you create the event correctly. So now when you have a Gmail, or the proper thing to do when you have a Gmail, where somebody says, let's do something on some future date, you need to develop the habit of moving the pointer up to the more button, clicking it, and click create event. When you do that, the calendar will open, text from the email message will be put in the description box. So where somebody says, let's meet for lunch on Tuesday, that's going to go down to the description box, and then you start at the top of your create event page. What is the event? Lunch at whatever, Hetza Petza. And then you start going date, time, location, ties in our map, further description. Over on the right side, it has a thing for who do you want to invite. It's automatically going to invite the person who sent you the email, but you can invite other people to it. You can have notifications, you can add attachments to that email. And then when you hit save, it says, do you want to send this to the person? You say yes. They get, instead of a reply email, they get a reply email that is a calendar request. It's an invitation to a meeting, or whatever it was you set up. If they get their choice of yes, no, maybe. If they say yes, they're going to go. What happens on your calendar?
So if they're invited.
It shows that they said.
That you have a meeting on that day. You don't have to take an email, hey, let's have lunch on Tuesday, reply okay, then say, oh, now I got to go to my calendar. I have to remember to now go to my calendar. I have to create an event. I have to invite the guy. All you need to do when you see an email, get in the habit of you see an email that says, let's do this future thing. Click more, click create event, fill in the things, and you're golden. That becomes especially important in business. Now the other thing, if we had Google search in here, you now have on your Gmail a sent email that says invitation. You can do a search later, anytime in the future, that says, when did I go have lunch with that guy? What are all the events that I went to? And you just put in the Google search bar, invitation. And guess what's going to come up? All of the invitations that you did, all of the events you created this way. And if you put invitation Hetza Petza, guess what Google's going to do? It's going to show you all of the events for Hetza Petza. That is real power. People out there don't do that. And the only habit we have to get into here is to push the more button when we see an email that talks about doing something in the future. Okay? Calendar and voice. What do we have there? How do those two connect? So now we're back to calendar, because I moved this down here. Now let's go back to calendar.
If you have events planned on your calendar, the contacts will contact you through voice.
Okay, so one of the choices on your creating events is, do you want to have a hangout? If you click yes, guess what? You can call them. It's an audio thing. And I think everybody here, I think everybody here has experienced using Google Hangouts to make phone calls, right? And Keith is doing it over here right now. Okay, so in voice, we can have have phone calls, phone events. Okay, so if the email says, why don't you call me on Tuesday, you receive an email that says, why don't you call me on Tuesday, what do? No. You are looking at your Gmail, it says, call me on Tuesday. Click more, create event. When you fill it in, you click the call button or the hangout button. Okay, now you're on your calendar. How about Google Voice? How does that interact?
You can take 4 different phone calls from that same line.
Well, I mean Google Plus.
Oh.
So plus, we should put community circles. Communities. And what else? Hangouts. Okay. So now the calendar Google Plus, as I was saying, the call is a Hangout. Oh, let's start writing this way. I am not sure, but I think it might be possible that when you send an invitation, you might be able to send an invitation to a circle. I'm not positive about that. If you can't do it now, you'll be able to do it in the future. Because that's the easy way to automate, okay, everybody, we're going to have an event. Now, if we want to look at it the opposite way, I'm in Google Plus, and I want to get something on my calendar. What do I do?
Go to event.
Right. Go to events, and I create an event. We experience that every day on our calendar here, right? So every day you look at your calendar at 10 o'clock, or I guess at 10 o'clock it talks about the Google Plus class, right? And if you click on that, where does it take you?
G plus. Google.
It takes you to Google Plus. Now, once you're in Google Plus, what is on there?
The events on there.
Okay, there's a what on the left side?
Official site.
Huh?
The official site's there.
On the left side. On the left side of the event. It's on the screen. On the left side of the screen.
The icon. The home button.
The YouTube video.
Oh.
Okay? So from Google Plus, I can create an event in Calendar, but it also makes it easy to attach a YouTube video.
What does that say right there?
It says attach video. From Google Plus, if I create an event. So, for purposes, that would be this part. Or I could do this. Since I added a fourth circle to Google Plus called Events, the event would attach to YouTube. On my calendar, how can I attach to YouTube?
You just add a link.
Correct. I just add the link to the YouTube video in the description box or attach it. I could do it either way. On Fridays here when we do our quizzes, there's a link, right, in the description. Where does that link go to? On Fridays.
It goes to the test.
But what is the test created in? What's the test created in? Forms, right, okay. So in the calendar, in that description box, you can just put any kind of link in there you want. You can put a YouTube link, you can put a link to on Friday on the calendar, I have a link that goes to a form, right? Okay. So in your calendar, in that description box, you can put a link to a document, a spread, any kind of a file. The file could be a document, spreadsheet, slide, form. It could be a YouTube video. It could be a PDF file. It could be anything. If you put a link in there, that will become an active link, and you can go right from your calendar. The person who receives it can go right from the calendar, or whoever's calendar it's on, can click on that and access the document. Now, let's say I'm in Drive. What can I do with maps in Drive?
Save a new map.
Okay, so I can have a link in my Drive to a map. Okay, now what if I do that? How does that work? How do I get a map, a link to a map in my Drive?
Share it.
I just want to see it. Let's say, forget about the sharing part. I could share it or not share it. What do I do?
Save it.
Well, if I save it, I'm saving it in Maps. I don't want to save it in Maps. I want to save it on my Drive.
Oh, you copy it and you.
Okay, I go to the Omnibar. I get the address for the map, and I upload that into Drive. If I'm in Drive and I click on that map address, what happens?
Go to that map.
It'll open Maps and open that map. So that means I could have a folder in the storage part of my Drive that says Employment Plan. And in that folder, I could have whatever maps I want. If I had a daughter going to school in, say, Gonzaga, I could have a folder in my Drive that is about my daughter, just all of the stuff about that daughter. And one of the things I could have in that folder is the map of the city of Spokane, just to make it easy. So I don't have to go to different applications to get to somewhere I want to go. Okay, what about Gmail and Drive? How do those connect? This is a basic thing in Gmail. I'm in
You can
Gmail.
archive your Gmail?
Huh?
You can archive it in Drive?
No, I'm in Gmail. How do I use Drive?
You can click on a link that's sent to your Gmail account. They'll send you to Drive, which will have different postings.
I attach a
Facebook.
file. This is just the simple attachment. Now, in the old days, where did we attach files from? Your hard drive. In the last year, Google has made it very easy to directly attach documents in your Google Drive. Would that be something important? Okay. On the video today, does anybody remember the guy saying, I don't even need my own Chromebook?
Yeah, he said he left it, and you'll just go there and get one and just log on.
Okay. Why?
Everything-
Everything's saved on the drive. So it doesn't make sense. In the new world, it doesn't make sense if you want to attach a file. You have to go to your drive, download it to the desktop, right? Download it to the computer, and then attach it in Gmail. So in the last few months, Gmail has made it very easy that when you receive a Gmail and there's attachments, what do you not have to do now? What did you have to do last year? Any attachment you got, any attachment you received on an email, what did you have to do?
Download.
Yeah, you had to download it. Do you have to do that now? No. You can save it right to your drive. And if you push the little drive icon, what happens?
Save the drive.
What does it do? It lets you save it to exactly the folder you want to save it to. In other words, it doesn't have to go to my drive. When you push on that, it goes to your drive, and then you can see all of the folders that you have. And if you click on a folder, you can then click on the subfolder of that drive and the subfolder of that folder. And you can put that attachment exactly where you want it. So that enables us to what?
Be organized.
Be very, very organized. That's right. Be very, very organized. And if you think in terms of time, I saw a number yesterday on my Gmail that I was just blown away with. I have 39,000 emails on my Gmail account.
39,000.
Yeah.
So you don't do what?
There's
what's
little
that?
trash cans right there. Right?
What was the guess?
You don't need it.
Last week, when you change it every year.
Oh, yeah.
No, I don't do that. That was somebody.
That includes all the archive ones that you have?
Yeah, that's just, with Google, if they give you 15 gigabytes of storage, what does that mean?
You've got a hell of a lot of
Okay, well, it
storage.
means it's a hell of a lot of storage. What does it mean? It means they can handle it. You could have 15 gigabytes worth of stuff, do a search, and they're going to find it. But you don't want to have to do a search all the time you get in any of these Google apps, right? If you organize your drive properly, and you can just logically think in terms of, okay, well, where would I have put that file? Where would I have put that file? Okay, so in Gmail, you attach documents that go to your drive, and in your drive, you can save or store documents that come in right from a Gmail. In other words, you don't just put things on the drive from your hard drive. You can now go from the cloud, from your Gmail, directly to your drive without ever having a copy of the file on your computer. And that does make it to the place where you can just use somebody's Chromebook. Just pick one up. You know, I can expect a time in the future where there'll be businesses at the beginning of the day, as you walk in, as you punch in, you grab a Chromebook, and at the end of the day, when you leave, you punch out, you put your Chromebook back. Did he? Okay. And I agree with them. So that could very well be the future. You don't need to have my computer. What's the problem with my computer? Huh? Well, what's the problem with it?
Can't access it from other locations.
Well, you are wherever your computer is, right? If you can, when you punch in, you grab a Chromebook, your computer goes where you go.
Hi, my name is Keith. I'm calling Goche Publishing.
Keith is able to work here, he's able to work there. Because he doesn't have it as that's his calling computer. There's nothing on there that he needs to have as his stuff. So we have to think in terms of if we want to customize our thing, we customize the Google Apps, so wherever we go, like our bookmarks bar goes with us, our extensions go with us, so it doesn't matter what computer we pick up. It's the old way of thinking of I need to customize my desktop, because when this thing comes on in the morning, I want to see the picture that represents me. Okay? That's the old way. We don't need to do that. That's what we used to do when it was special, having our own computer. Now we just have to get back to thinking of this computer as a tool. You know, who here, okay, so, you know, it might have been when Miguel got his first carpet cleaning machine. What he wanted to do was customize it and have his name and put stickers on it and things like that. Did you do that? Did you give it a name? Okay, well, that's what a lot of people did with their computers, right? They gave their computer a name. It's like Mike Child, okay? People did that with their first bicycle, their first thing, whatever it was. And then after a while, you get that it's just a thing. I don't need to customize this.
That's what I named it, thing.
You named your thing thing?
I named it thing.
Okay. So now, Drive Voice. What can we store from voice onto Drive?
Reading.
Well, okay. What do we store on Drive? What are those things called?
Files.
Files, right. Okay. So we can store audio files.
And text messages.
Okay, we can store audio files.
Conferences.
You can store text messages, but that's not the best way to do it because there are other Google apps like Hangouts that will store those for you. And you can just go back and look at the history, or in Contacts. You can go back and look in the history of all the calls that you made. Okay, so we can store audio files in there, in our Drive. What kind of audio files?
Conferences.
Conferences. What else?
Like the message we were talking about yesterday where
Okay.
for your
The audio message you could do so that if you recorded it somewhere professionally with background music or whatever, if you did a real high quality Google Circle recording, audio recording, you could save that in here. What else do most people save? What audio files do people save on their drive?
Music.
Exactly. They save music. So you can have music libraries in here. But you don't generally create music files from voice, Google Voice.
The music files would be saved in Drive.
The music files, you could save music files here. From voice, specifically, you're going to save like conversations. In Google Voice, there is a thing that you can record your calls. You just have a little switch, electronic switch. You turn it on, and you can record a call. Like, let's say it's a conference call or something, or a meeting, and you want to record it. You can do that through voice. But mainly now you do that through Hangouts. Okay, so Google Plus and Drive. How do these two connect?
Yes, I'm
Sharing
Keith,
information.
and I'm calling with the Budget Publishing. We publish the Budget newspaper. Is the owner
So
available?
what do if I want to post something in Google Plus, what does it
Okay,
give me a choice of doing? What are some of the things if I want to post a message in Google Plus?
A video.
And I want to
A
send-
link,
and I want to
okay, a
send
picture, okay?
Event.
So I can
Okay.
post links.
Okay.
I can take files off of my drive and then post them as a link to Google Plus.
This is a good segue into mind maps. I mean, that's what you're doing right here, is you're creating
Well,
a good schematic.
a good way to draw this would be through a mind map. This thing.
Yes.
So now let's say Google Plus and Calendar we already did. Okay? So let's say we did Maps in Drive. Let's say Maps in Gmail.
My name is Keith.
How do these
I'm
connect?
with Budget Publishing. We publish the Budget newspaper.
Invitation.
We're interested in
Send by invitation, send a map with it.
Attach a map to
To attach a map.
Like if you create events, they know exactly where to go for that event.
Well, this wouldn't be for an event. Let's just say I said I'm going to send you a map of Spokane. Hold on.
Well, it's not for an interview. We're interested in writing a story. Yes. Yes, correct. Okay.
Yeah, right now.
Okay. So give a call back after 5 p.m. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
You do a search in the web
Yeah.
store.
No, credit card.
See, like here.
Good. Perfect. Great. Okay. Fantastic. Thank you, Tony. Bye. Okay. Wow. We're getting very lucky. We have another guest coming in. Tony Saka. Who's that?
Hey,
Who's that?
entertainer.
He's an entertainer. Yeah. He's a very famous entertainer that's coming in to talk to us about a show that he's got going. Yeah.
On that, that's part you can add all this to that. Once we
On what?
instead we go to that save for us.
Yeah.
Add all this to it.
Yeah, add all of these notes to it. Okay, so where do we leave off? Gmail to Maps. Again, anything in Gmail, well, I can't say anything, but in Gmail we can attach documents, virtually any type of document into Gmail. Yes.
Question in regards to maps.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say we have our iPad and we need to get directions to a certain place and we're in our car. Can we attach
Hi, my name is
to GPS?
Yeah, so
Okay, my name's.
if you have an iPad, that is not a Android, that's not a Google device.
Right, I know that. Okay, let's
So-
say Android.
If you can get, yeah, so from my smartphone or from a tablet,
Yeah.
if I have internet connectivity,
Right.
then it's the same.
It's the same.
So this would be, sort of like it's through Chrome. So you can have computer, right?
Yeah.
You can have smartphone,
Okay.
you can have tablet,
There we go.
you can have wristwatch. Okay? So from Chrome, Chrome is Google's portal to the internet. Okay, so what is Chrome? What is Chrome? Okay, it's a web browser.
Web browser.
So this is the entry to all of these. If you don't have something running, could be, what are some other web browsers? Firefox, Safari, what else? What's the most common one?
Yahoo.
Internet Explorer. No, Bing is a search engine. So Internet Explorer. So Chrome is owned and built and designed by Google as the internet browser, the web browser, that these things are designed to work in best. Can you use these in Internet Explorer? Yeah. Okay. Just not as well, because Internet Explorer wasn't designed to run these apps. Internet Explorer wasn't designed for that. Chrome was designed for these apps. And it will do things that are not these apps. We use it here all the time. But Chrome is also designed to work on your computer, on your smartphone, on your tablet, on these new watches that have Android operating system. So you come in through this, and then you can go out to all of these applications. Any of these apps that we do.
Now explain Android for all of us.
Well, Android is just the operating system for mobile devices. Okay? It's not the same as Chrome.
No.
It's like Chrome. You can run Chrome in your smartphone, but it's the operating system that Google has for smartphones and tablets, mobile devices. Okay, so we're just about out of time.
What does that say right there in the middle where it says Google and, yeah, right there.
Between these two,
Yeah, right there.
post link. So you can post a link to a document that's stored here. Okay, so what I'll do is take a picture of this, and then I'll save this up there, and then everybody, I will take a picture of this.
You can link
Okay.
it to a document or Google.
I will put it here in Google Plus, link it, this picture, link it into Google Plus, then you can have it, and then you can download a copy to your drive. So you have that, and then you can use it to make notes. Okay, break time. Thanks, Dennis. Yes.
The new student introduction.
Oh, yes, let's do that. New student introductions, everyone. Hold on.
Can you get that?
Fortunately, you're free.
Thanks a lot. Okay.
Everybody can watch it. They can't see you anymore.
If you stand right, let's see. Okay, hold on. Let me go. Good. Right. Good. There you go.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Welcome.
This is Kathy.
Kathy.
Oh, this is the camera here. Keep the camera here. Yeah, but this is the camera here. Yes.
Is that Kathy with a K or a C?
A C.
C. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Tell us about yourself.
Well, I am currently unemployed. I was working in a warehouse for online skincare, and recently laid off about 7 other people, and which was good because I hated the warehouse anyway, and I wanted to get back to the office, which is what I like to do and what I do well, and so I'm to refresh my admin skills.
Okay, and where do you live?
I live in Anaheim.
Anaheim. Okay. Do you have anybody here from Anaheim? Not really. Okay, good. And what program are you taking here?
The administrative assistant.
Administrative assistant. Okay, fantastic. So, you know, pay close attention when we do these Google Apps classes because it'll be a great tool for you when you go to the next job.
Yes, I am. Thank you.
Okay, good. Well, welcome. Welcome aboard.
Thank you. Okay, Ed.
That's it?
That was it. Yeah, the other new student, she isn't here today, but
Okay.
we'll try to get her maybe tomorrow.
Is there anything Joe wants to say?
I don't know. Anything you want to say, Joe?
No, I'm all right, thank you.
He said he's fine. Thank you.
Okay, good. All right. Thank you. Bye, everyone.